Panchatatvamini Prithiviyasiya Purva Prema Mandarira Mudraugariya Panchami Vinukta Prema Kole Ashvadan Yata Yata Piya Krishna Bhavayankan. So the Panchatattva broke the seal which locked the Prema Bandar, the storehouse of love of God. It is said when Krishna came, this storehouse was also there, but it was locked. Maybe some had a key, but practically very few could enter. But somehow or other, everything changed. Changed when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates entered that storehouse of love of God. And when they entered, after they broke open that lock, it is said, Yata Yata Piya Krishna Bhadayanukshan, which means that as they were drinking, they were becoming more and more thirsty. So usually when we drink, that was good, less thirsty. But when we drink from whatever is in the storehouse of love of God, we become more thirsty. Our thirst is increasing and increasing and increasing. So that is, in a nutshell, spiritual life. That's what it's about. To somehow or other, that our thirst may increase more and more, and that we become more eager. Eager. You never know when Lord Jagannath decides to have a Ratha-ятра. These days, it's multiplying like anything. Everywhere now, Ratha-ятра appears. It doesn't matter. Even in Dubai, although it's in a sports hall inside with a mini Rath cart, but there is Ratha-ятра. Have you been? It's an ecstatic one. Because, they can't go out because outside it's forbidden. So then, when anything is forbidden, it becomes more fun. So naturally, Ratha-ятра in Dubai is special because it's forbidden. Here in Serbia, it's not forbidden, but almost forbidden. So in that way, it's pretty good. It's nice. We see that mercy of Lord Jagannath flooding in all directions. We were just now in Italy, and we were discussing about waves of ecstasy. And then Tridas Prabhu, a disciple of Srila Prabhupada who joined in San Francisco in 1970, and who was there when Srila Prabhupada was present for Ratha-ятра in San Francisco. And there is a very famous picture where Prabhupada is on the deck of the Ratha-ятра, and his arms are raised, and he's got this big garland of gardenias, white, big flower garland, and he's just beaming. And it said, like, the picture just shows beaming ecstasy. He said, but when you saw Prabhupada in movement, you just saw Prabhupada throwing that mercy at the crowd, and flooding them with transcendental ecstasy. Prabhupada's ecstasy didn't just stay with him, it touched others and it lifted everybody up, and immediately everyone felt totally charged with transcendental energy. That is the nature of devotional service. Devotional service is not about locking yourself in a room and then to be quiet and meditate. Alright, we've had acharyas who were so deep in their relationship with Krishna. Like Bhugarbha Goswami could go deep, deep in the earth. There was, under the temple of Govindaji, deep down there was a room deep under the deities, and there Bhugarbha Goswami got to chant the name of the Lord undisturbed. No people, no matters of the world, excuse me, can I talk? Oh, have you read? Have you seen? Have you? No, just deep in the earth, alone with Krishna. Oh yes, we all need time alone with Krishna. If we don't spend time alone with Krishna, what will become of us? We'll just be lived by external circumstances. We will, of course, if these external circumstances are constant ecstasy and constant glorification of Krishna, then that is the same depth. But in our case it's not like that. There's also so much distraction. So we also need to withdraw and to enter deep, as Bhugarbha Goswami did, entering deep in the basement below Sri Sri Radha Govinda, chanting name after name. It is there where he got that name, Bhugarbha, who is residing within the womb of the earth. Obviously he had another name before, became Bhugarbha Goswami because of that particular way of chanting. What personalities were these Goswamis in Vrindavan? Think of Madhu Pandit. Go to Jaipur and you can see Radha Gopinath, and then you see on the side that little window with the jacket and the hat of Madhu Pandit, all made of fine little tulsi beads. What kind of personality was he to wear that during his japa? What a deep absorption. Not just casually, but so amazingly appreciating all the mercy. Yes, when Lord Chaitanya was waiting in front of the Simhadwara, the main gate of the Jagannath temple, for Lord Jagannath to appear. You never know when Lord Jagannath will appear, because in India there is something like, it doesn't matter how long you have to wait, it's just ecstasy. So people had an ecstatic kirtan and waiting, and many Ratha-yatras are there, and the crowd never knows when the Ratha-yatra will start. Maybe in Serbia also a little bit like that. Yeah? Anyway, it doesn't matter, because we just begin and have that kirtan and just, don't care when it starts. It starts when the kirtan starts, isn't it? It already started, in other words. Ratha-yatra already started, and now we have a little prasad in between, and then we'll carry on. Say, that's not uncommon. And even Lord Chaitanya took a little break in a garden to take a little prasad, and then 5 minutes. And then after the 5 minutes, again, continue. So that's alright. Anyway, Lord Chaitanya, when Lord Chaitanya was waiting in front of the Simhadwara, it was different that time. Because that time, Lord Jagannath couldn't wait. Usually the crowd cannot wait, but that time Lord Jagannath could not wait. He could not wait to see Lord Chaitanya. He was very eager, so he came out early. He couldn't wait any longer. He came out earlier than usual, and there Lord Jagannath was feasting, his eyes wide open, feasting on the darshan of Lord Chaitanya. the appetite for that darshan had already been awakened during the Sannyasis, which was 2 weeks earlier. And at Sannyasis it was so ecstatic because all the water was bouncing off Jagannath, everyone was pouring water over Jagannath, and more water was bouncing off Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from the tears of ecstasy, and Jagannath was watching it all. And therefore, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing in front of Ratha Yatra, he was very, very ecstatic about taking the Lord back to Vrindavan. And of course all the devotees also became part of that and started to pull the chariot and pull it back to its Vrindavan in the same mood as the gopis who were trying to pull the chariot of Krishna back to Vrindavan. So as we are pulling back Krishna back to Vrindavan, we will reach before he will reach, because we're in front of the chariot. So one is also himself in that way, going to Vrindavan. Now going to Vrindavan is not a matter of buying a ticket. It is not a matter of then taking a train, a bus or a taxi from Delhi, and then there you are, the turn, and sure enough, Vrindavan. No. Because, can we enter? That is the question. Can we actually enter into Vrindavan? One might say, oh, I've been in Vrindavan many times. Have we? Have we actually been? Did we actually enter? Or did we only see the surface? Did we only see the external layer of Yoga Maya that covers the Holy Dham? Is that all we perceived? Rickshaws and hustle and bustle and so many Delhi-walas, they're all jamming the road and Loi Bazaar and come into my shop and this and that and everything, all of the noise and all these people and spitting pan and just there's dogs in the street and big fat hogs and smells that you never want to smell in your life and so many things. And hot. So hot. Is that it? No. No. When we are going to Radhakund, if we read the writings of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he gives a description of Radhakund which is distinctly different than what we see. He says there are 4 jeweled swings on the corner. Did you film those? For your Kadamba.net. Did you see yes, Kadamba.net? I don't know why I stole that name. Must be from Vrindavan you stole it. Anyway, that so these jeweled swings we have not seen. Who has seen? Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he was seeing. He was saying, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta wanted this Gorakund, this place next to the birth site of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And somehow or other, the managers of the ashram were thinking, how are we going to get this land? Where are we going to get the money? So they were talking about that land, and they had some other land somewhere else. So they swapped that land for this land. They thought they did great, and then they got the land. Guru Maharaj, we have the land. Gorakund now, the place where Nimai used to take bath. Very good. So how did you get it? Well, we had some other land. We swapped that other land. He said that other land, I also had plans for this other land. He said, because many pastimes also took place there. He said, everywhere there are so many pastimes. So how could you give up this land? And then, in a discussion, yes, but how will we get money? Money to construct the temple, money to build a temple. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, we'll just simply, we'll take, if we need money to construct a temple, we'll take one brick from the spiritual world. That will suffice. That will suffice. That's enough. When, in the same way, when Bhaktivinoda Thakur was describing what Kesi Ghat looked like, he described a beautiful bathing ghat with gold and jewels and all these things. Did you see? Have we seen? So when we hear such descriptions, we realize that we are not seeing and that we are not entering into Vrindavan. Because one cannot enter into Vrindavan via an external path. One can only enter into Vrindavan by internally becoming absorbed in service to Krishna. So this Ратха-ятра is exactly that, because Ратха-ятra is such a thing. It needs a lot of service. I mean, there is an immense amount of service needed to make Ratha-ятра possible, always. And Ratha-ятra is such a thing where one is meant to go through its limits. It's not that you're going to calculate, well, I'm going to do something ecstatic now tonight, you know, like I'm going to jump 1 meter high. No, 1 meter. 1 meter. 1 meter of ecstasy. No, one cannot measure the ecstasy. It has to go to the spontaneous platform, to the platform where you don't know what's going to happen, you don't know what you're going to do, but you'll do whatever you can for the pleasure of the Lord. That's the idea. It is the idea to break through to the platform of spontaneous service and spontaneously appreciating the wonderful mercy that is there, that we are pulling the Lord. The Lord is seated there on his chariot in the spiritual world. So we're basically pulling the spiritual world to the streets, and it's just flowing over. And it's just spilling over. And the holy names, Kolokira, Premadana, Harinam, Sankirtan, more spiritual world going in all directions, everywhere. And people don't know what hits them, but something hits them. And even people who've never seen suddenly come forward and just go in another dimension, forget themselves. If only we will forget ourselves when we pull the chariot of Lord Jagannath. If only we can just forget ourselves and just remember only the wonderful mercy that Krishna is bestowing upon us, on our universe. Innumerable universes. And Krishna manifests in ours. On this planet, there are deities. You go a little down in the universe, very nice planets, very opulent, much more opulent than here, but no deities, nothing. But somehow or other here, all this is present. So, we don't understand, we don't remember, we don't contemplate, we don't meditate. So one can only go to Vrindavan when internally one begins to develop that dedication to Krishna. When one actually is appreciating who Krishna is. If one really appreciates who Krishna is, then naturally will joyfully serve him. What an amazing personality. So this is, then the internal Vrindavan will also manifest. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, he said, for most people, the mind and the heart are the same. And then he said, but in my case, my mind is Vrindavan. And then he says to Krishna in the mood of Radharani, so if you don't mind, I know you like Vrindavan, so please put your foot in my mind. And in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mind is always Vrindavan. It is that what has to happen. We have to become residents of Vrindavan. There is no time, so it's not 2:30 now. That's only here. And it's not the end of this lecture, because that's only in the world where there's time. In the spiritual world, there is no end. Here there's always an end, but in the spiritual world there is no end. And in this way, although externally we may end now, but internally we continue in anticipation. Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is with us. Don't think, oh, you know, I have seen better Ratha Yatra. I have seen this. No. Every Ratha Yatra is the best. It is the best. Because we are now with Krishna. And that is the best. Somehow or other. That is all that is required. What more is there? There's nothing else. So that is a perfection that we are striving for, to somehow or other take that opportunity to serve the Lord and to flood everyone in all directions with transcendental mercy. Flooding this whole festival with the mercy of the Lord. It's called the Exit Festival. I think it's got that name because it's an opportunity for people to exit from this material world, to go back to the spiritual world. So let us somehow or other absorb in that. And because the more we do, the more ecstatic everything will be. Okay, I'm beginning to think about my stomach. So I'm going to take a little prasadam break, and then in a few hours, 2 hours now. So take a little rest if you need to, a little siesta, and then we will go and embark on a transcendental adventure. Thank you very much. Shri Shri Jagannath Swami ki Jai. Shri Shri Jagannath Ratha Yatra Maha